If anybody is part of the decision-making process on whether giving a newborn a circumcision is a good idea or not, I'd like to just clarify a couple of things about circumcision, which might make your position easier to decide upon. Now, firstly, the foreskin has more than one function. One of its functions is it is a glandular, and it produces a hormone, or a series of hormones, which women can pick up on. So if the person is right for them, in a marital sense, they can pick it up on a deep subconscious basis by the smell emitted from the foreskin. Secondarily, men who still retain their foreskins, when they have penetrative sex, the foreskin retracts in and out with each stroke, lubricating the vagina of the woman. Now, once that's removed, intercourse becomes a harsher experience and often a longer experience because the most sensitive part of the penis is now exposed rather than carefully covered up, if you like. Now, because there's such poor sex education in the world, a lot of people don't realize how their penis works, and at too later age they realize that it can be retracted, the foreskin can be retracted, but by then it may be a difficult situation, and in some cases I've seen it where kids have got to the age of 16, for instance, and actually needed surgery to correct it. And with this one particular person I'm thinking of, the results were terrible, and he had more surgery, and it just got worse and worse. Surgery is obviously never a good idea, except in absolute emergencies. Now, another factor is violence. A baby is born, and mother and baby are flooded with all the happy hormones, oxytocin, the love hormone, that creates love and bonding, serotonin, dopamine, everything is coming, endorphins, it's a lovely cocktail of happiness, it should be. And then the mother, the one that the baby loves the most in the world, feels the deepest connection to, gives that baby to some stranger who essentially tortures them and circumcises them. And if you want to know more about that, look up, does circumcision happen with or without anesthetic, and see what happens around the world. Now, it turns out that if a child has been circumcised, they're going to have various psychological issues like trusting their mother, trusting anybody else, trusting women in general. Maybe the surgeon was a man. A lack of trust can be created by that bonding break right at the beginning of life. It's tragic for men and, of course, women as well in some societies. Turns out, if you choose to look at which societies are the most peaceful, which are the most violent, well, one might say the United States, where there's over 90% male circumcision rate, perhaps the Arab countries, Israel. There are a few countries where circumcision is the norm, and to my mind, they seem to be a little bit more warlike and violent to their own people, I'm talking about the government here, than others. You make up your own mind. In Norway, they have, for instance, a very, very low rate of circumcision amongst men, and I'm sure women. But it turns out that the men in prison for violence, a large proportion, much larger than would be a natural statistic, have been circumcised. So is that indicating that circumcision creates violence? I believe it is. So I hope that information helps if that decision is in the balance. Thank you.